Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. I'm hoping I'm on the air. I'm looking to make sure YouTube is putting us on the air here, on my monitor here. They don't even show us on the air here. Well, here I am. I'm now on the air officially by YouTube standards. How about that? Welcome everybody to Emergency Management Associates, coming to you from the Area Command 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. We want to welcome everybody who is joining us here on the program this evening. I'm just waiting to get a few more people here in the chat so we can continue on with the program. Juanito's here from El Centro, California. Hurricane Heather from Northern California. Ruth St. John is here. Damon Catman from the east of England's here. Virginia Ortega's here. John McCoy is here. Howdy! I love howdies. That's awesome. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Eva Marie Griffin's here. Thank you so much. We appreciate you from Florence, California. I've been to Florence, Colorado. I've been to Florence, Colorado many, many times. I love that area. Catherine Sigerson from Canada is here. Can someone give me a 5x5 to let me know that the video and the audio are just fine? Okay, just want to make sure we're on the air and not having any problems. Amanda's here as well. Arnold's here. Thank you very much for being here. Thanks for the 5x5s, guys. We really appreciate it. Arnold Schmidt here is from Western Alberta, Canada. Thank you so much for being here. We have many people from Canada, from Alberta, Canada, from New Brunswick, from Nova Scotia, from British Columbia, Canada, from Saskatchewan, Canada, Manitoba, Canada. We appreciate all of you here with us from Canada. It's awesome to have you here. It really is. We appreciate all of you here. Even my dear wife is here with us. Even my dear wife is here with us. We appreciate her too. She's here in the studio here. Here's my wife here. For those of you that have never met Carol, this is Carol Tyler. She's my wife. She's the greatest support that I could ever have. She's a mod here on the channel too. It's awesome. Ava Marie, yes, I could use a new filter. Folks, I want to show you this. I was going to show you this since Ava Marie is here. I haven't showed this to you for a few months. This is our Purity water bottle. Okay? This is a great water bottle. I keep it full of water right up to this area here, and by the end of the show, I've drank most of it. Okay? Yes, I could use a new filter. That would be great. Thank you very much, Ava Marie. Thank you so much. If you guys want a Purity filter, contact Ava Marie, and she will make sure you can get a Purity water bottle here and with a filter. They don't cost that much, but these are great to have. It'll purify nearly a quart of water or a liter of water, and it's a wonderful thing to have. I love mine. I really do. I use it every day. I appreciate you all here. Demon Catman from the East of England says, hello, Carol Tyler. We appreciate you here. We really do. Carol is the greatest strength to me. She reminds me of things I need to do. Aren't you getting ready for your program? Yes, I'm pretty ready for my program. Or she'll give me information. It's awesome. Catherine Sigerson says her town is now doing free lead testing in the tap water. That's a good idea. That's one of the reasons I don't drink tap water. I don't want the contaminants in the tap water. The tap water here tastes awful. It really do. It really does. Really do. Boy, I can't talk, can I? Anyway, guys, yes, if you want to go ahead and contact Ava Marie Griffin, you can contact her, and through her you can get your Purity water bottle and water filters. It's great, okay? I'm going to say that it's awesome. Hurricane Heather says, I met Mrs. Tyler. I'm so used to saying sir. Heather says, Heather's been calling me sir since I don't even remember, since I first saw her online. Heather, we appreciate you, dear. You're a dear sister to all of us, okay? You really are. Ava Marie Griffin's here in the chat, guys, for those of you that are just watching. The Purity water filter removes all the junk, 99.999% of contaminants. It's awesome. And it leaves your water tasting really good. It leaves your water tasting very nice, especially if you pour in cool water into your Purity water filter. It keeps it cool as well. Now, I don't know if this plastic bottle also helps keep it cool, but for me it does, and I really appreciate it. Heather says, thank you, sir, it's the way I was raised. I agree, that's me too, okay? It's the way I am. Whenever I was doing my job either in Colorado or San Diego, I always addressed everybody as ma'am and sir. How you doing tonight, ma'am? Can I see your driver's license, your registration, and proof of insurance? The same thing in Denver, didn't matter, San Diego. Hey, hello, sir. Good evening. It's good to see you. Can I please see your registration, proof of insurance, and your driver's license? Oh, you don't have a driver's license. Oh, I'm so sorry. Anyway, that kind of thing. Catherine Sigerson says it's been not well, and she's been using tap water. That's why I'm doing the testing. I had a brother for a month now, and that's all I can afford at the moment. I can only imagine. Demon Catman is telling everybody here in the chat that I was a federal police officer and an emergency manager. Yes, I was a federal police officer and an emergency manager during the same time period. My department used me as an emergency manager as well. I did both jobs. Abul Qasim says, what job you did? I was a federal police officer for the U.S. government. Okay? Laura Marie says, hello, Ron, mods, and EMA friends. My vegetable garden is watered and growing well. I have watered my garden as well. Maybe I should have taken a picture. I'll take a picture this weekend. I have pumpkin leaves that large. Pumpkin leaves that large. It's incredible. I'm growing water. I'm growing squash. Growing cucumbers, peas, and beans. What else are we growing? Tomatoes. Lettuce we've got here. We've got peppers here. Bell peppers we're growing. What else? I can't remember everything we got going. By the way, guys, this is our puppy, one of our daughters, Crystal. Holly, do you want to come up here? Holly, you want to come here? Holly sometimes comes up on my lap, and I've had Holly and Crystal here on the program before. Crystal loves her mother. Crystal will follow Carol around like no get out. Holly many times will come up here with me in my office when I'm doing the program. If Holly's been downstairs with Crystal and Carol, she always comes up here by the end of my program because she knows when I'm getting off the program, and she comes up here until I get everything situated and join the family downstairs. It's funny. NCWQ Worldwide News and Disasters Explorer says, if you troll this channel, I will troll you, and someone will troll you out or ban you. Absolutely, we will. Don't troll this channel, guys. We don't like it. Catherine Sigerson says, Montana is getting snow on Monday. That's wild. That's wild. Carol says, nice. It's kind of funny, guys, because I grew up in Idaho, southeastern Idaho. My family and I frequently visited Montana and Wyoming. As I was growing up, I was there all the time. I was there every time I turned around, as I remember. Now, when I became an adult, I visited Montana quite frequently, and I lived in Colorado, so I was up in Cheyenne, Wyoming, up there in Montana. I visited Yellowstone many times. I know a lot about that area. Okay, I've been there a lot. Okay, that's one of the reasons that I know so much about Yellowstone, because I was always there and I've studied it. Catherine Sigurdsson says she thinks Montana's going to get 10 inches of snow starting Monday. That's wild. That is absolutely wild. Okay? In June, the middle of June, we're going to get that kind of snow. That is totally bizarre. That is absolutely bizarre. I've been in Montana in June, and quite frequently they have a rodeo in Cheyenne. So I've been there, and it's been 85 degrees, 70 degrees, 75 degrees, and hot all the time. All the time. So usually I don't ever remember seeing snow in Montana or Wyoming, for that matter, in the middle of June. Unreal. Unreal. Catherine Sigurdsson says that's what Google said. Oh, that's funny. What Google said, yeah. Don't we love Google? Hey, Rob52 is here as well. Rob52 is one of our dear friends here. He's my dear brother. I love Rob. He's awesome. He really is. We appreciate Rob being here as well. Aries Bloodstone is here. Merry meet everyone. We appreciate you all here. Okay? Now, I spent some time saying hello to everybody. Now, I want to tell you what's going on. Okay? Last night, now I'm going to turn over here and talk about earthquakes for a few minutes and other things going on. Last night at just about 1 o'clock this morning, down in the south central part of the Atlantic Ocean, USGS is only showing us 2 earthquakes here in the South Mid-Atlantic Ocean. I'm now going to show you that information right now, if they will allow me back in here. There they are. We're back here, right here. Okay, they have this as a 5.9 earthquake. They have this as a 5.9 earthquake. They're showing a 5.9 and a 5.8 down here in the South Mid-Atlantic. Okay? They're showing us 2 earthquakes. But folks, I guess they're not going to let me show you the other earthquake. Let me see if I can get to it anyway. That's a 5.9. And there's also another earthquake there. Here's the other 5.9 here. Okay? They're showing us 2 5.9s. But, quite honestly, this is not the only earthquakes that have happened here. Let me go to my other device, and I want to show you these other earthquakes. USGS is not even telling us the full story, which is very sad. Carol, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Carol's awesome, guys. I know I've said that many times, but I mean it. She's awesome. NCWQ says 2 5.9s, a 5.4, and a 4.5. And that's the truth. I want to show you this because they're not telling us the truth. They wouldn't know the truth if it bit them in the face. First off, here's a 5.4 here. There's a 5.4 here. Just south of there, also on the southern Mid-Atlantic Ridge, is a 5.9. Okay? Two other earthquakes that you see right here. Okay? Another 5.3 and another 5.9. Now this 5.9 that's here, guys, is actually a 6.1 earthquake. It's actually a 6.1 earthquake, possibly even stronger than that. Okay? Why do I want to show you this? Because it's important. We've told you that the Mid-Atlantic Ridge is expanding. The Mid-Atlantic Fault is expanding. It's going like this. Okay? The Mid-Atlantic Fault is right smack dab in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. You guys see that? It's expanding like this. Okay? So these earthquakes that happened last night and early this morning, the first one came out as a 6.1. They're only showing us two 5.9s now. I believe both of those earthquakes are at least a 6.1. Now, earlier I went to the USGS back seismologist study page. They only have one earthquake, actually two earthquakes listed. One a 5.9. The second one is a 5.2. Okay? The second one is a 5.2. As I just showed you, there are two 5.9s, a 5.4, and this other being a 5.3 here. Two 5.9s, a 5.4, and a 5.3. They are not showing the 5.4 or the 5.3. But on the back seismologist study page, they're showing one 5.9 and the 5.2. On the 5.9, I've shown you this kind of stuff before. On the 5.9, they're saying there are 25 seismographs reporting that earthquake. But they're not allowing anybody to see the outcome of the seismographs being there. They're not showing the readings of that earthquake. But they are showing a 5.2. But there was not a 5.2. There was not a 5.2. Two 5.9s, a 5.4, and a 5.3. That doesn't make sense, does it? They are showing, I think it was 245 seismographs recording the strength of the 5.9, 6.1 earthquake. Well, guess what? The seismographs or reporting that earthquake are showing over a 6.1. Okay? They're showing over a 6.1, not a 5.2. But that's what they're showing there, is the seismographs reporting the 6.1, 5.9 are showing at least a 6.1 earthquake, not a 5.2. It's insane. That is absolutely insane. Lisa, please do not talk about other creators here on this program. Do not show any creators other than myself on this program. Okay? Unless you cleared it with me first. Now, I watch BP Earthwatch. I do. BP Earthwatch is a friend of mine. I consider him a friend. Jay is here in the chat asking, why would they lie? I've explained this before. They do not want anyone knowing exactly what's going on. The EMSC, the European agency, are showing all these earthquakes here. USGS is only showing two earthquakes on their map. They're showing two earthquakes on their map. The European agency, the EMSC, is showing four large earthquakes, and none of them are 5.2. The simple reason is this, Jay. for all of you that were wondering why they don't show the truth. If people knew the truth, people would be moving out of the areas where the earthquakes are happening, where the large earthquakes are happening, or where they will happen. Here in the mid-Atlantic, again, as we pointed out, and USGS has also said this before, the Atlantic Ocean, the Atlantic plate where the Atlantic Ocean is at, is expanding like this. There are going to be larger earthquakes such as these here come in the future. This is one of the largest earthquakes that we've seen in the Mid-Atlantic Ocean. The Mid-Atlantic Ocean down here in the South Pacific, where you see these earthquakes happen, okay? The Atlantic Ocean there, okay? The Atlantic Ocean here is pushing Africa, it's pushing Africa in an eastbound direction. It's pushing South America in a westerly direction. Okay, do you understand what I'm talking about? The expansion of the Atlantic plate is pushing Africa in an eastward direction. On the same token, the Mid-Atlantic fault expansion is pushing South America in a westward direction as we move north here in the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, I want to show you this. As we move north through the Atlantic Ocean, you see the Mid-Atlantic fault here. It gets closer to Africa. This is where we're going to find Africa possibly even being pushed not just in an easterly direction, but even in an northeast direction here. You can see it. It still is pushing South America in a westerly direction. South America and Central America and also Puerto Rico in a westerly direction. Up here in the Mid-Atlantic here, the North Mid-Atlantic, it's pushing Africa and Europe in an easterly direction. On the same token, what is it doing to Greenland, Canada, and the United States? It's pushing us in a southwesterly direction. It's pushing Greenland here, Canada, and the United States in a southwesterly direction. That's what's happening here. And as a result of the Mid-Atlantic fault pushing the United States and Canada in a southwesterly direction, it's causing earthquakes here on the East Coast. It's causing earthquakes here on the East Coast, and I've explained why we're having earthquakes here. I showed you seismograms the other day of the expansion of the Atlantic plate causing earthquakes here on the East Coast of the U.S. and Canada. Okay, it's expanding. It's moving. We have absolute tectonic plate movement. Worldwide tectonic plate movement. It's happening. We're seeing it. Now, Father put up a chat here that one of our mods took down. I want everybody here paying attention to what we're talking about. Right now, I'm not talking about Donald Trump. Yes, I like Donald Trump. I do. But right now, we're talking about earthquakes. If I start talking about Donald Trump, I'll put Donald Trump information on here. Right now, we don't want to see that. Okay? Also, please do not put information up with all caps. I don't want to see information put in the chat with all caps. YouTube looks at that as yelling. Please do not use all caps in your chats, okay? It's like screaming. Aries Bloodstone's here in the chat and explain that too. YouTube looks at it like you're screaming or yelling. Please don't do that. Okay? Anyway, that's what's going on with our Earth today. Now, there are a couple other earthquakes that we want to talk about. Okay? Valerie Coldwell says, I just came on and I see Nova Scotia on your map. Are we in danger, dear? Valerie, I can't say you are in immediate danger. However, we continue to see earthquakes up and down the Canadian East Coast. They're not as violent, they're not as large as the earthquakes on the west coast of Canada and the United States, but you're still seeing earthquakes. I don't believe you're in any immediate danger. However, the earthquakes are getting larger. The earthquakes are getting larger. As that expansion of the Mid-Atlantic Fault gets really going like it did early this morning, just before 1 a.m. this morning, and they continue on. Okay? One of the earthquakes, and I'm going to go back here. I want to show you these earthquakes again. 4 large earthquakes in the South Mid-Atlantic here. This one, that's the northernmost one here. This 5.4. Okay? I just tapped on it, and I want to show you what's going on. Okay? This is 6.2 miles deep. 10 kilometers deep. Let's look at these others. Okay? Now I've gone to the northernmost 5.9, 6.1 earthquake. It's at least a 6.1 earthquake. This happened at 12:26 a.m. this morning. This was also 6.2 miles deep. 6.2 miles deep, 10 kilometers deep. Valeria, thank you for being here on our channel. We appreciate all of our new people here, and I'm asking all of you to please subscribe to this channel. We want you here. One of these other 5.9 earthquakes they have here at 5:51 a.m. 5:51 a.m. Eastern Time. This earthquake here was 8.7 kilometers deep, 2 miles deeper than the other 3. 2 miles deeper than the other 3. This southernmost earthquake here, this was a 5.3, also 6.2 kilometers deep. So out of the 4 large earthquakes here, only 3 were 6.2 or 10 kilometers deep. The other one was 8.7 miles deep, 2 miles deeper than the others. Now that first earthquake hit this morning here on the East Coast time, it hit at just before midnight. Just before midnight. I want to show you this. I want to show you this quake. I posted it on our Emergency Management Associates Quakes and Volcano channel on Messenger. So that's where I'm going to show it. Okay, like I said, this happened, actually, it was just before 1 a.m. this morning. 12:58 p.m. or at 12:58 a.m. this morning, Eastern Time. It came out as a 6.1 earthquake, and USGS downgraded it to a 5.9. And yet there's 2 5.9s listed, and only one 5.9 listed on the USGS back seismologist study page. They do not want to admit what's going on. 4 large earthquakes. 4 large earthquakes today in the mid-Atlantic zone. 4 large earthquakes, and yet they still do not want to admit exactly what's going on. The European agency showing 4 earthquakes, US showing 2. Now, Ray Spur said something that I completely agree with. Out here in the middle of the ocean, you won't feel these earthquakes here hitting because the ocean waters absorb the shock of the quake. The ocean waters absorb most of the shock of the earthquakes. There are no land or, shall I say, islands here in the Mid-Atlantic Fault area. Nobody felt this earthquake. Nobody even remotely felt this earthquake. Nobody even lives anywhere near it. Okay? But it's important. Just because it's out in the mid-Atlantic, it is still pushing, these 4 earthquakes are pushing Africa in an easterly direction. These 4 earthquakes are also pushing South America in a westerly direction. That's what's going on. Like I said, these earthquakes up here in the mid-Atlantic area here, they're pushing North America, Canada, United States, and Mexico in a southwesterly direction. They're pushing Europe in an easterly direction here. Scandinavia and Europe, they're pushing Europe in an easterly direction. Now, USGS is not showing any earthquakes at all in Europe, but the European agency is. The USGS, the United States Geological Survey, says that they will only be showing most 4.5 earthquakes. They don't even talk about tremors, 1.0 to 1.9 tremors. They won't even talk about that. They don't want to talk about 2.0 to 2.9 minor earthquakes as well. They don't want to talk about 3.0, 3.9 small earthquakes. Heaven forbid. 4.0, 4.9 earthquakes they're calling light. Honestly, folks, 4.0, 4.9 earthquakes are moderate earthquakes. 4.0, 4.9 earthquakes cause moderate damage. There's nothing light about a 4.0 to a 4.9 earthquake. Those earthquakes cause moderate damage. Okay? So what is going on is USGS is still denying what's happening. They are denying what's going on. Notice up here. Up here. We've been reporting, as of this last year or so, earthquakes happening here in Norway. We've been reporting on earthquakes here in Sweden, earthquakes here in Finland and eastern Russia here. Okay? Over here. This is eastern Russia. This is a 2.1 earthquake in eastern Russia. Just south of there. This is Ruma, Finland. This is a 2.3 minor earthquake in Finland. Just south of there. This is also in Finland, another 2.3 earthquake here. South of there. This is also Russia here. This is a 2.0 earthquake here. So today we had 2 earthquakes here in Finland, and up here in northern Russia, just north of Finland, we have a minor earthquake here and a minor earthquake just south of Finland here. This was a 2.0 down here south of Finland, and up here in northern Russia here, we have a 2.1. Now, I want to show you something. A lot of people don't understand what exactly is Russia and what is not. Okay? North of Finland, we have Russia right here. You see it here. Here is Finland and here is Russia. Well, guess what? The same is happening here in Sweden and Norway. I've been up here to the Russian-Swedish border. The Swedish train system takes us up here to the Arctic Circle. It drops us off here at the Arctic Circle for about 30 minutes. Then it will take us back into Sweden. I've been up here at the Arctic Circle here, the border with Sweden and Russia. The border region here with Russia, they have armed guards here, armed military personnel here at the border region of Sweden and Russia. If I were to take pictures of the Russian border, the Russian soldier guards here would arrest me and no one would ever hear from me again. We were not allowed to take pictures at the Russian-Swedish border. Okay? I've been up here to the border. The same is true for over here in Norway. The Russians own this whole area here. And right now, the Russians have fortified this area here. Last year, they were talking about attacking Sweden and Norway. Well, guess what? Norway and Sweden became members of NATO, the National Atlantic Treaty Organization. They joined NATO. As a result of that, United States forces, United States military came up here and trained with the Swedish and Norwegian and Finnish people here. Finnish military people here. We have United States soldiers here, not a lot of them, but we have enough United States soldiers and military equipment here to help protect Norway, Sweden, and Finland. Okay? Because Russia was going to attack Finland, Norway, and Sweden if we had not done that. If they had not joined NATO, Russia would attack them and possibly even taken them under the Russian wing. Okay? I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen other places. Back in the 70s and early 80s, there were a bunch of countries under Russian rule. And Russia lost those countries. Those countries left Mother Russia. And they established their own countries, separate from Russia. And now Russia is trying to bring those countries back in under Mother Russia. That is one of the reasons that Ukraine is fighting for its life right now, to keep Russia from bringing them back under Russian rule. But there's a lot of other countries there. Poland. Russia has threatened Poland with attack. Russia has threatened Poland and Ukraine with nuclear attack. Now, I personally don't think they would do that. I personally do not think that Russia would attack Poland and the other countries that were under Russian rule before. Why? Because if Russia launches a nuclear weapon there, that land would no longer become functional. People would die. If Russian soldiers came in on that land after they had launched a nuclear attack, guess what? Russia wouldn't be able to use that area either. I don't believe they're going to do that. But as I told you the other day, I think it was the day before yesterday, as I told you the day before yesterday, Russia now has forces off our Florida East Coast. Russia's had ships all up and down our East Coast. Now Russia has floated a submarine off the coast of Florida. But it's not just a Russian submarine. It's a whole complete task force from Russia. We talked about a warship in the port of Cuba, the port of Havana. It's not just one Russian warship. Russia has sent warships and submarines to Cuba. Russia has sent submarines and a Russian military task force to Cuba and off the coast of Florida. They are there. They're there. Now, yesterday and the day before, I posted information to two websites. I shouldn't say websites necessarily. Two YouTube sites. One man, Poplar Reports, was talking about the military stations around the United States that would be a first attack by Russia. Stephen Gardner, who is a friend of mine in Salt Lake City, he's a financial analyst. He started putting up political commentary during the past 6 months. Prior to that, he was just talking financial stuff. And I admire Stephen Gardner. I totally admire Stephen Gardner. But he's also talked about politics. Well, he interviewed a person who is a former CIA agent, one of the top CIA agents in the country, who does not anymore work for the CIA. That man, Larry Johnson. Larry Johnson knows exactly what's going on. And on Stephen Gardner's show 2 nights ago, he stated exactly what's going on. Again, there are warships off the east coast of the United States and off the west coast of the United States. The warships have gotten closer to Florida because Florida is right next to Cuba. And yes, there's a military task force from Russia in the port of Cuba, in Havana. But we also have Russian warships off of Florida right now. They've been seen. Why are they doing that? As I explained to all of you a couple days ago, the United States has been poking Putin. They've been poking Russia for a very long time. Poking the bear. Russia's now getting tired of being poked. Putin now has sent warships over here to the United States. Prior to this, we have not had major war on our shores here in the mainland United States. Okay? Nowhere near that. Because we are so far from Russia, now Russia is right on our southern shores, right off our eastern and western shores. Yes, we have aircraft carrier task force over off our east coast. We have 2 aircraft carriers off our east coast right now, and their entire task force of ships. About 10 or 11 ships with each aircraft carrier on both coasts, meaning we have 4 aircraft carriers, 2 on either coast, and all of their task force ships helping protect our own shores. But now, because we have been poking the bear, Russia's gotten tired of it. Now we are actually physically being threatened by the bear, Russia. Those submarines and their warships have been outfitted with their new I can't even say that. They're intercontinental ballistic missiles carrying nuclear weapons. Their new supersonic missile, I don't even remember what they call it. But those ships have now been retrofitted with those new missiles. Would they attack? I don't think so. Would they attack? I don't think so. But they could. Now, my mods have taken down messages from some of you who are putting up messages in other languages. Whether it be Russian or Spanish or whatever it is, you cannot do that. Please, if you want to put up chat, in our chat here, you have to put it up in English. It cannot be in any other language. Please comply. Please comply. In fact, I'm having to take somebody down because they don't get it. They want to bully you guys, I won't allow it. If you guys want to talk here in the chat, you must speak English. And if we don't like what you're saying, your chat will be taken down. Okay? I don't want to lose my chat or lose my channel because someone is putting up trash talk on our chat. Dennis N. is here in the chat. He says, I think they're going for a global conflict. I agree. For those of you that are not aware, it is my belief that we are already in World War III. No, our land has not been attacked. We have not been attacked by Russian soldiers or Russian missiles. However, we have been threatened. We have soldiers from other countries on our shores. I will tell you that. Because Biden has allowed other countries to infiltrate the United States from our southern border. We have foreign soldiers on our southern border right now. They are training, they set up training camps in our country. For all intents and purposes, the United States of America is at war. We're at war. Okay? Arnold Schmidt is saying 62 years ago, America let go of God's hand and his word. I agree with that, Arnold. I totally agree. So now America is standing alone without the protection and blessings of God. Pretty much. However, I want to also say something else. Folks, we've been told by our Heavenly Father through Jesus Christ, if we have even one righteous person in this country, the Lord will still protect us. If we have even one righteous person, the Lord will still protect us. That was what he has told us through the scriptures. There have been many instances throughout the Old Testament where the Lord was told, or the Lord told his people, that if there was even one righteous person in that area, the Lord would not destroy that area. And I hold the Lord to account. I still don't believe, because the Lord has promised us, if there's one righteous person, he won't allow us to be under attack. He will still try to protect us. Yes, the United States military is one of the strongest militaries in the world. And yes, we have as many missiles as Russia does. We have as many missiles as Russia does. We have basically the same capabilities. Do I believe we are in World War III? Yes, I do. Okay? I truly do. Knowing that Russian ships are in Cuba, we are now living a second Cuban Missile Crisis. Russia previously sent missiles to Cuba back in 1962. What has Russia done now? It's not just Russian missiles in Cuba. We have Russian warships in Cuba. We have Russian warships off the east and west coast of the United States, and Canada for that matter. We have had what they call a bear bomber. Russia has sent bear bombers over by Sweden and England, testing our military capabilities. Russia has also sent bear bombers over towards Alaska and America's west coast, tempting us to do something. Yes, the Russian bear bombers were also escorted there by Russian fighters, Russian fighter jets. When they got too close to the American coastline, United States military personnel from the Air Force and the Navy were put up in the air. And we pushed the bear bombers and the Russian fighter jets off our coast. We have fighter jets now on standby and up in the air on the east coast of the United States and the west coast of the United States. On Wednesday, we had 4 B-52 bombers in the air over Louisiana. 4 B-52 bombers in the air over Louisiana. Now, we're not being told what our military is doing. We're not being told. But we know what's going on. Our military also knows what's going on. They're not telling us. Biden won't even tell us. Biden has not said a word about it. But as we have seen the radar images on our World Wide Web, we've seen our military planes in action. No, we don't see them dropping bombs or our fighters attacking Russian fighters, but they are in the air. They're in the air to help protect this country. Ray Spur says when he was in the Navy, his squadron used to follow bear bombers all the time. It's nothing new. You're right. It is nothing new. But Russia keeps poking the United States, and we keep poking Russia. Russia told the United States military to stay out of the Black Sea. Well, guess what? You don't tell our U.S. military to stay out of anywhere. If we are off the coast, far enough away from the country's shores, they can't stop us. It's in international waters, and that's exactly where we went, into international waters. Russia got upset. Russia sent bear bombers and their military into the Black Sea to confront the United States military. We pushed them back. Russia did not want to start a war in the Black Sea, although they'd already started a war in Ukraine, and that's one of the reasons that the United States military ships, the Navy, came into the Black Sea. Okay? So we have been protecting other countries. We have been involved in Ukraine. I've been very forthright about telling you what's going on. Ray Spur says loose lips sink ships. I agree. That's why we are not being told, the citizens of the United States are not being told exactly what is going on. Okay? Not telling us what's going on. Now, today I saw an interview with President Trump. President Trump is a good man. President Trump is an awesome president. We are all hoping that he gets reelected and serves another 4 years. When President Trump was in office, he was friends with Putin, and Putin didn't dare step out of line. Putin didn't dare step out of line. Neither did Xi Jinping of China. Trump and Xi Jinping of China the present over 2 billion people in China did not step out of line with Trump. Someone else. Remember the little big man in North Korea that kept trying to poke President Trump? President Trump went over to North Korea. President Trump just did not go over there to South Korea. President Trump actually stepped into North Korea to meet with the North Korean dictator. President Trump developed a working relationship with that dictator. President Trump also went to Singapore and met with him again. At that point in time, that North Korean dictator left the meeting with President Trump because he was frustrated. Because, yes, Rocket Man, Rob 52 is calling him Rocket Man here in the chat. Rocket Man left the meetings with President Trump and his people because Rocket Man was not getting any kudos from President Trump. President Trump wasn't allowing Rocket Man to take advantage of the United States. What has been happening around the world in the last 4 years is extraordinary. It should never have happened. It should never have happened. President Trump would not have let it happen. But because we have a fallen, even I'm going to call him a dictator here in the United States, President Biden. He's a weakling. President Biden is a weakling. What has been happening during the past 4 years should never have happened. If President Trump was still in power, these other countries would not have done what they've done. Russia would not have attacked Ukraine. Hamas would not have attacked Israel. Before, when President Trump was president, Hamas didn't have much money. Why? Because Iran was broke. Iran was broke. Iran was begging other countries to buy their oil. It was not allowed to happen. It was not allowed to happen. Prior to President Trump, Obama was in office for 8 years. For those of you that don't remember what happened, Obama sent millions of dollars over to Iran in the middle of the night, trying to make it seem like the United States was not giving Iran any money. But that was exactly the case. The United States under Obama gave millions of dollars to Iran to continue their nuclear buildup, to build a BOMB. Now, we believe that Iran does have a nuclear weapon. We believe Iran does have a nuclear weapon. And it's not just that. There are some people in military circles that believe there are large weapons over in the Gaza Strip. Okay? Before, Israel was an absolute ally with the United States. Under Biden, Biden has allowed Hamas to attack Israel and has allowed Lebanon to come into Israel from the north. So now Israel has had communist Islamic fascists attack them from the south and the north. Israel's been under attack. That would not have happened under President Trump. President Trump, even though Obama sent millions of dollars to Iran, President Trump basically bankrupted Iran, cut off all money and all power from Iran. Iran would not have let Hamas or even given the weapons to Hamas to attack Israel. It would not have been happening. Never. President Trump had a good relationship with Netanyahu. Delete Funds is asking me to stay out of politics and stick with earthquakes. Delete Funds, I have done that. But I'm being honest with all of you now that our lives may be in danger. Delete Funds, I talk about politics when it comes to our lives being in danger. That's what I'm talking about. Delete Funds says I have no idea what I'm talking about. I do. I absolutely do know what I'm talking about, and I have evidence to back it up. Delete Funds, I don't want you to be offended by what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is true. You can go anywhere and pull information to prove what I'm saying is the absolute truth. Okay? I don't want to ban you because you've been a good follower of this channel. But what I'm saying is absolute truth. No, I am not going to stay out of politics. Okay, I'm not. Remnant Truth says politics can be as detrimental to our safety as a natural disaster. And Remnant is right. Politics can be very detrimental to us. And I believe that our country and every country who is an ally to the United States is under attack. All of our countries around the world that are allies of ours are literally under attack. Everyone that's on this channel today from another country, you can verify all the information I've talked about. You know exactly what I'm saying. Our countries are under attack. Our very safety is on the line. All I'm trying to do is give you information so you can help protect yourselves. This is Preparedness Friday. Friday we talk about what's going on with earthquakes and weather and everything else. But today it's not just about earthquakes. It's not just about tornadoes. It's not just about fires, although we have fires over in Northern California and over in Oregon. Yes, we do. We have wildfires there. We have firefighters who are putting their lives on the line to fight those fires. We have firefighters all over the United States and even in Canada. We have other countries coming here into the United States to help our firefighters. Okay? But given that, all the information that I have given you tonight is absolutely true. Okay? Ken Stolley is here in the chat, says, thank you, Lord, not too much here in Costa Rica, blessings. Yes, friends and neighbors, we do have our friends of the Emergency Management Associate channel all over the world. Canada and the United States, Central America, Mexico, Costa Rica, Panama, all throughout Southern America, over in Indonesia, Australia, and New Zealand, all over Europe, all over Europe. We have friends of our channel here. Okay? I want you all to be here. I am always going to tell you the truth. I am not going to be stopped from telling the truth ever. Why? Because I am trying to save lives. I am trying to save lives. So those of you from other countries, please subscribe to this channel. And if you want, we have set up memberships to help support this channel. Membership starting in the very smallest area of $1.99 American, $1.99 US dollars. I've kept those memberships very low. $1.99, $2.99, and $3.99. I want people to help support this channel. I tried to put up a members only broadcast last night and YouTube would not allow it. As soon as I get this computer next week revamped, I'm hoping to get by the, what shall I say, YouTube blocking us. I thought I'd done that, but I'm going to have to do and take other measures. I appreciate each and every one of you helping me do that. Okay? I do appreciate it. Now, folks, like I said, I am not going to stop what we're doing here. I'm just not going to do it. I believe in the prospect of what we're doing, helping save our lives. Everyone needs to know what's going on around you. I have always been talking about your persons, your family, your friends, and your neighbors. We need to have a global fix on what's going on around us. We need to keep our head on a swivel. That is why I've been talking to you about this. That is exactly why we've been talking to you about what's going on. YouTube still tries to block us, to censor us, and I'll be damned if I'm going to allow it to continue. I will come back on the air on my computer because I want to show you visual proof of the things that I'm talking about. Yes, I am here on my tablet. I have upped the ante when it comes to Wi-Fi service, bandwidth. I am paying $175 a month to have ultimate bandwidth so I can broadcast this channel. And I'm not going to let anything or anybody stop it. I'm not. The messages we have for you are of ultimate importance. I'm just not going to stop it. Delete funds to civil war? Yes. I believe we probably will have a civil war on our very shores. Because the President of the United States has let other people from other countries come into the United States. And we have pictures of soldiers, and I'm talking military-age men, coming across the southern border with weapons. Not just handguns, but I'm talking about military-style assault weapons. We have video and pictures of it happening. Those people have come across the U.S. border and they are conducting training here on our own soil. And very soon, I believe, we're going to be attacked. Okay? Ken Stolley says, sadly, that's their plan. I agree. That's why I am asking all of you to be prepared. I've asked all of you, and the last time I told you about this was yesterday and the day before, talking to you about writing your own emergency plan. Writing your own emergency plan. Now, I'm going to show you mine real quick. The emergency plan is in here. It's 110 pages long. 110 pages long for me and my family. Me and my family. Folks, this plan is not just for Carol and I. Carol has children from her previous marriage. I have accepted them as my own. I have 4 children from my previous marriage, and I have at least 7 or 8 grandchildren. I am here to help protect them as well. I'm here to help protect them. Yes, I do believe Trump is a Christian man. I have reason to believe that. Folks, if you don't like what I'm saying, your comments are being taken down. If you continue anti-EMA comments, I will remove you from this channel. Delete funds, I'm talking to you as well. I'm talking about emergency preparedness. You need to have what I have here. A plan. A plan to protect yourselves. A plan where you are putting together food and water to help your family. A plan where you're going to put together information for you to either shelter in place or bug out from where you're going, where you're at, and go someplace else to help protect you and your family. Now we have someone here putting up Islamic characters. Your comment has been removed. You must put up comments in English. Words from other languages will not be tolerated here. Your comments must be in English. Okay? Spamming this channel is a violation of not just YouTube rules, but it is a violation of Emergency Management Associates rules. Okay? Okay? Demon Catman says that was his name, Ron. It is backwards in Arabic. Now, Aubrey is saying this also in chat. It shouldn't matter in the United States what religion we're associated with to be present if they protect the Constitution and the people. Our president has been sworn to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Our president has not done that. Our president has not done that. He is not protecting the Constitution, and he is not protecting our citizens, or he would not have allowed the invasion of our southern border. Sam Thomas says we are one nation under God. Period. We are one nation under God. Like I said a minute ago, if you can't speak English in this chat, don't bother putting up your chat. You will have it taken down. If we can't read your language in English, don't do it. And if necessary, I will ban you from this chat. Period. Our president, no matter who he's been, has taken an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. This president has not done that. He's taken the oath, but he's violated his oath, which makes him a treasonous president. Biden should be removed from office. Biden and all of his administration should be removed from office, the White House and the Congress and the Senate of the United States government. They should be removed and put in prison. They should not be allowed outside the prison. They should not be allowed to put out any of their garbage communication to the citizens of the United States or anywhere else. They should be put in solitary confinement. They are traitors to this country. They are traitors to this country. They have violated the law, they have violated our Constitution, and they should be removed from this country. And anyone else that's here in this country, if you have alternative motives against this country and its citizens, you need to leave now. Why am I saying that? Because if you start a war, or you start hurting and killing people, there are enough of us, former police officers, former military members, we will eliminate you. We will eliminate you. President Trump, even in his interview earlier today, has said that when he gets back into office, he will remove those people that are not United States citizens. He will remove those terrorists that have come across the southern border. He will remove the people that are illegally here. President Trump said that. I heard him say that. He has said that in every rally he's ever had, including a rally that he had in the Bronx, New York, a heavily blue state. And yet, President Trump had 25,000 people to his rally in the Bronx, a blue state, a Democrat state. The Democrats are losing power here in this country. More and more people are supporting President Trump. If you don't believe it, look around. It's already happening. It's already happening. Charlie 7337 says, USA born and bred. Good evening, Ron. You're absolutely right. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe to this channel, and if you can, join this channel with membership. We'd greatly appreciate it. We'd greatly appreciate any super chat you give us. We greatly also appreciate you supporting us on PayPal and or sending us donations in the mail. Speaking of which, there's a man over in Pennsylvania. His name's Gerald. He sent us a card, an American flag card, with a check here for us. Gerald, I appreciate what you've done. I greatly appreciate your support. I appreciate everyone's support. I really do. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. Like I said, this is Preparedness Friday, and I am here to help protect you. I am giving you this information tonight because you need to keep your head on a swivel. You need to keep an eye on everything around you. You need protection. You need to write an emergency preparedness plan, not just because an earthquake's going to hit, and it will. We've talked about it. But because of fires and floods and heavy rain. San Diego was just inundated with rain. Heavy-duty flooding. Property was destroyed in San Diego and over Southern California. It's happening all over. We have had tornadoes in the central Midwest, the central United States, and we've had tornadoes over in the northern part, the northern tier of the United States, in Illinois, in Indiana, in Ohio, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, and going up into North Carolina as well. I'm trying to give you information to help protect you. On our program description, if you go back through yesterday's program description, as soon as we get off the air tonight, I'm going to post a program description within 10 minutes after being off the air. Our program description first has a link to YouTube to join this channel, to become a member on this channel. I also have our Gmail email link. I also have our PayPal links, 2 PayPal links. I also have our Cash App link. Yes, you can support us. My mods have been putting up our address where you can send us cards and letters. We used to get 2 or 3 cards and letters a week. We got one last week from Laura and John. Today we got one from Gerald. I hope to see more of the cards and letters. I really do. I love finding out what's going on in your neck of the woods. I like finding out that you guys are preparing. I like finding out that you are doing things to prepare you and your family. That is what is most important to me right now. I want to help you. I want to help you. That's what we're doing tonight. I'm talking about things that you can do to help protect yourselves and your families. I'm giving you information to keep your head on a swivel. I'm giving you information to prove what's going on around you. Because, folks, things are not going to get any better. In my opinion and many others' opinion, things are going to get much worse. Sweet Polly Purebred says she needs to feed her preloaded card. Thank you so much, Polly. We appreciate that. Linda Covington's telling us to watch our mail. Linda Covington said earlier this week she was sending something to us in the mail. I will be watching for that, Linda. We appreciate that. Linda sent us things in the mail as well before. I really appreciate it. I appreciate any and all of you who send us notes and letters, packages. I have had people send me rocks and minerals for my rock collection. I have had people send me things for my train collection. And yes, I hope within the next 6 months to put up my model trains again, and I'm going to run trains again in my home. Ben Chode says, can we sign up for the next insurrection? No. What the Democrat Party said on January 6th was an insurrection was not. Tucker Carlson proved that. And in fact, Tucker Carlson had video of it. It was not an insurrection. Nobody attacked the Capitol at all. Yes, a couple people broke some windows of the Capitol. Yes, that was an offense. That was against law. That was against the law. But nobody lost their life except for one person. A woman from San Diego. I believe she was 24 years old. She was shot and killed by a U.S. federal officer in the Capitol. Capitol police officer. She was shot and killed by him. She was not armed. At no time did she threaten anybody's life. She was killed for no reason at all. I don't care whether you're a regular police officer or not. We were all taught that you do not shoot at an unarmed individual. You don't shoot at anyone who does not pose an immediate hazard to life. Life, folks. That woman did not pose a hazard to life. Did not pose a hazard to that Capitol police officer. didn't do it. There was no insurrection in 2020. Sorry, it didn't happen. But the Democrat Party wanted us to believe that. The Democrat Party put together a January 6th committee, mostly of Democrats, and they would not let the Republicans or the conservative people talk for us. The Democrats ruled the January 6th committee. They knew what they were doing was wrong. Mr. Adam Schiff, who is a congressman, lied to the American people and lied to the committee. He put out false documents, lied to the committee. Later, he was found to have done that. He was chastised by Congress. He almost lost his job. Congress can remove congressmen from Congress with the vote of the people. Unfortunately, Adam Schiff, the congressman, was not removed because the Democrat Party wouldn't allow him to be removed. Even though he lied to Congress, he lied to the American people, he's still a congressman here in the United States. What a bunch of crap. A congressman, a treasonous congressman, was still allowed to keep his job. Like I said, it's not just President Biden. It's not just President Biden. It's all of the administration. Ben showed you are a disgrace to our channel. You are a disgrace to our channel. And I just removed you permanently. You're gone. You won't be back. You won't be back. You harass me, you harass any of my mods or anybody else on this channel, you're gone. I won't allow it. Period. I won't allow it. Not going to happen. Sorry, I'm taking just a minute to get rid of these people. Sam Thomas has said the real insurrection was November 2020. I agree. When the Democrat Party posted false election ballots in every state around this country. Right now, to prove it, Georgia is looking for 250,000 ballots that have suddenly disappeared. 250,000 ballots that had Joe Biden's name on them. They have suddenly disappeared. The same thing has happened in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Arizona, Nevada, and other strongholds where the Democrat Party has been. Putting out false documentation, putting out ballots that weren't really ballots. False information, yet they said President Trump was illegally president. The Democrat Communist Party here in the United States attacked President Trump before he was even president, back in 2015. Attacked him. He became president. They continued attacking him. Hillary Clinton paid Daniel Steele, a British citizen, to falsify information, what they call the Steele dossier, accusing President Trump of being in cahoots with Russia. Hillary Clinton paid him to do it. It was false information. It was false documentation. It was found to be false. The Democrat Communist Party has been doing this for a very, very long time. The Democrat Communist Party impeached President Trump twice. Neither time was the Democrat charges up to the hilt that would have given Congress the authority to remove him as president. Didn't happen. It did not happen. In 2020, they attacked him again. This time, attacking social media, telling the social media, YouTube, Facebook, and other social media conglomerates to censor our speech. Removing comments like I've just put up. Yes, I was removed in 2016 from Facebook several times. Again, in 2020, I was removed then because allegedly I was put up false information, and that's false itself. Facebook had its own Facebook fact checkers. Every one of their fact checkers were false. Nothing but trash. Nothing but trash. And I can prove it. They've not been taking me down recently. Although as we get closer and closer to this election, I expect it to happen again on Facebook. 4 years ago, YouTube was attacking me as well, trying to censor me. They took me off the air 5 times. The first time was for 24 hours. The second time was for a week's time period. The third time was for a month. And then it was 3 weeks, and 3 weeks again. Then they took down my channel. YouTube said it was hackers. Within a few days after the supposed hackers had taken down my channel, it wasn't just my channel, they took down my Gmail account. I had a Gmail account that was linked to my channel. They took both of them down. Within several days, I established this channel. I'm back. I've been back now over a year. I'm not going anywhere. Charlie says TikTok has him down until July. Because yes, the Communist Party here in the United States has even gone after people on TikTok and other social media conglomerates. Sad. Sad but true. Sorry, you go against what I'm saying here on our channel and you're gone. Period. You're gone. There are some things I will not allow on this channel. Number 1, you mock me. Number 2, you put up information that I don't want here. You're gone. You're removed permanently. George, please be careful with the capital letters, okay? Yes, I do believe we're winning. And we, I hope, are going to win just like President Trump said. We're going to win so big that we are going to get tired of winning. I hope that's not the case. Okay? Charlie, please feel free to share this channel with anybody. Anybody and everybody. We've got to get this message out. We've got to get Emergency Management Associates' message out to everyone. We are here to protect each other's lives. We are here to put out information that will help you and help your families. To help your families survive what's happening. Okay? That's my greatest goal, to help other people know what's happening and to prepare for what's going on. Linda Covington's here in the chat says, it's my channel, my rules. This channel is an extension of my home. This channel is an extension of my home, and I invite you all here every day that I'm on the air. I invite you into my home. You folks are my family. You folks are my family. Carolyn Bird Barlow's here. DuckDuckGo browser will allow you to do what you want without their censorship. I agree. I use DuckDuckGo every day. I got away from Google YouTube. I haven't gotten rid of YouTube yet, but I'm going to. The next time I get censored, Google's gone. I will not have any links to Google at all. I'll get a new email if I have to, but Google will be gone. Space Potato says, please post the Discord link and the YouTube links. He couldn't find it. Folks, I had a Discord channel here for Emergency Management Associates. Guess what? Several months ago, I tried to get into it, and I was blocked. They said the password that I was putting into Discord was not my password, and it was. So I have started a new Discord channel under my name. I may start another Discord channel under Emergency Management Associates. Okay? I will probably be doing that. Ken Stolly says, if I leave, where will you find me? I will be going to Rumble. I already have a channel on Rumble. I have used it. The only reason I haven't gone there permanently yet is because I have so many of you here. I don't want to leave you here. Not by yourselves. When I get my hands on information, I try to pass it on to you as soon as I possibly can, as soon as I verify the authenticity of the information. I absolutely will not share any information that's false information. It's not going to happen. Charlie says DuckDuckGo is owned by BlackRock. I did not know that. I did not know that. BlackRock is not good. BlackRock is a very bad treasonous company. BlackRock is in bed with the Democrat communists. George Rashad says chat is much better now on Rumble. I agree. And I'm hopeful that when I decide to go to Rumble or go to Rumble from here, you guys will follow me. If you don't find me here, I will be on Rumble. Okay? I promise you. Demon Cabin says they are an umbrella over millions of companies. I understand BlackRock is. Yes, BlackRock is an umbrella company. Unfortunately. Ava Marie Griffin says we'll definitely share this on Facebook and LinkedIn. And yes, please do. I have a LinkedIn channel under my name. You can find me on LinkedIn under Ronald Tyler or Ron Tyler. You'll find me there. I am an emergency manager. And yes, I have hundreds of people that follow me on LinkedIn as well. Rob says he'll follow me everywhere. I appreciate that, Rob. Rob is a brother of mine. I will never, ever forget him. I never will. Yes, he's a mod, but it goes beyond being a mod. Many of you know exactly what I've been saying. You guys are actual family. You may not be blood, but you're my family, and I love you just the same. Christine says, whose site has a send video mark? I don't know. Yes, I am on Telegram as well. You can find me on Telegram on Emergency Management Associates. I haven't been putting information on Telegram as much as I was before, about 4 months ago. 4 months ago, I was putting every program on Telegram, but I'm going to get around to doing that again. Please, folks, if you see my site, my name or Emergency Management Associates, please come over there. Charlie says we all need family, and you are my family. I consider all of you family. That's why I want you all to share this channel and subscribe to this channel. About 26% of the people who watch this channel are not subscribers to this channel. Please subscribe. Okay, I'm sorry. When someone asked me what the sun was, it was Mark Wage's channel. Wage's World. Wage's World. Wage's World is a man, is run by a man named Mark Wages. Mark Wages is a very close friend of mine. A very, very close friend of mine. He drops me information all the time, almost on a daily basis. Okay? He talks about what's going on in the sun. He talks about coronal mass ejections and solar flares that affect us here on this earth, including the solar flares and coronal mass ejections that cause earthquakes. And yes, that's exactly what happens. Okay? Donna Howard is part of our Emergency Management Services program. She has joined here as a member. She's here in the chat. She said, we are definitely all part of a very large family headed up by the Father. Thanks for being a light of truth, Ron. Thank you for that so much, Donna. Yes, I am a Christian man. Yes, I put forth Christian information. That is because I am a follower of Christ. No, I'm not a prophet. But I am a servant of our Heavenly Father. I am a servant of Jesus Christ. I am. And I love Jesus Christ. Don Patoka's back here in the chat, says, howdy, back from doctor's appointment, LOL. Don, I know how that is because I had a doctor's appointment yesterday. And I was given basically good information. That's good. Thank you for being here, Don. I love you very much. Don, I've known for a lot of years. He and I are very close. I love all of you guys. I really do. I appreciate your love and support. I appreciate all of your love and support. It means the world to me, and it means the world to my wife, Carol. When you guys mention Carol here in this chat, when you see Carol on our chat or on the program like she was at the beginning of this program today, you'll see that she very much cares for me and cares for her family. Carol is a wonderful lady. I've grown to love her over the years. Very much so. She helps me. She helps all of us here for this program. She's a wealth of information for me. Yes, just like all marriages, sometimes we have disagreements. We don't always agree with everything. But she loves and supports me and our family. My wife is a watchman on the watch wall. My wife is also very much a follower of Jesus Christ. Ken Sully says, a watchman for Jesus Christ in Costa Rica. Thank you for being there, Ken. God bless you. We appreciate you. Folks, we are here. We're here as a family. That's why I've been so adamant tonight about what's going on around us. We need to have our head on a swivel. We need to have our head on a swivel. Things are happening. Things are happening. Someone asked me about a week ago, what is happening, Ron? When I say things are happening, I'm talking about things that may not help us. Earthquakes. Earthquakes aren't going to help us. Earlier this week, I talked about the New Madrid Fault. The New Madrid Fault is being pushed by the Atlantic Plate, pushing Canada and the United States in a southwesterly direction, putting pressure on the New Madrid Fault. The New Madrid Fault is also getting pressure from the west. Pressure from the west. Briefly, let me just come over here and show you the map. I want you to see this. There's a reason. Yes, we've talked a lot about earthquakes here in the United States, yet we've also talked about earthquakes around the world. Right here where you see my cursor, this is a new mattered fault. Like I said, over here on the East Coast, we have the Atlantic Plate that's pushing North America, Canada, and the United States in a south-southwesterly direction, putting pressure on the new mattered fault. On the same token, look what's happening here on the West Coast. And USGS is not even showing us all the earthquakes. Southern California right here. Southern California right here has had more earthquakes today than ever before. USGS is not even showing half of them. Not even close. Down in the Imperial Valley. Down in the Imperial Valley in Southern California. Right down here. This whole area here is the Imperial Valley here. They're showing one earthquake down here. One earthquake. This is in Brawley, California. Brawley, California. This is a 2.6 earthquake. A 2.6 earthquake in Brawley. Folks, I can tell you right now, that is a drop in the bucket. That is a drop in the bucket here. Okay? Over here on the southeast side of the Salton Sea, and I talked about this the other day. Over here on the southeast side of the Salton Sea, there's a town called Calipatria. Over here in Calipatria, there is a seismograph reporting earthquakes. Guess what? There are over 100 earthquakes a day here in Calipatria. 100 earthquakes a day being shown on the seismogram here in Calipatria. Every day. Over here on the southwestern side of the Salton Sea, we also have another seismograph here. This seismograph is also reporting earthquakes. 50 to 60 earthquakes a day right here. Further south, over here in the town of Imperial where you see my cursor, here in the town of Imperial, there are about 50 earthquakes here. 50 earthquakes here. Is USGS showing any of them? No, not any. Further over here, this is El Centro. El Centro. El Centro's been having 60 to 70 earthquakes every day. 60 to 70 earthquakes here every day. Is USGS showing those? No, they're not. Juanito, who is here in the chat, he's felt those earthquakes. They are 3.0 and large earthquakes. 3.0, 3.9 are considered to be small earthquakes. Juanito has felt those earthquakes, and yes, they are stunning earthquakes. And just a week and a half ago, we had a 5.0 earthquake right here, Westmoreland, California. A 5.0 plus earthquake right here. We showed you the seismogram from it, showing the quake. Did USGS show it? No, they did not. USGS did not show it on their map, as if it didn't exist. But everybody here in Southern California felt it. Not just here in the Imperial Valley here. Everybody felt it as far north up here in Los Angeles. Northern Los Angeles felt that earthquake. We show you the seismograms showing that earthquake here in northern Los Angeles. Over here in the desert, Rancho Mirage, California, felt that earthquake. The seismograph here in Rancho Mirage showed that earthquake. And yes, there were felt reports in Rancho Mirage. Folks, USGS does not show all the earthquakes. They don't. They lie about them. They lie about them. And it's not just here in the United States, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. I have told you about earthquakes in Europe. Guess what? Is USGS showing us any earthquakes here in Europe? Not a one. They are not showing any earthquakes here in Italy. There are 40 earthquakes between northern Italy, most earthquakes here in central Italy, and more earthquakes here in southern Italy. 40 plus earthquakes here. 40 earthquakes here. They're not talking about earthquakes in the Alps here. They're not talking about any earthquakes here. They're not talking about any earthquakes in Switzerland, Germany, or Austria. They're not showing any earthquakes here in France. Not a one. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Spain. Yes, there are earthquakes here in Spain. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Europe. Scandinavia. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Norway. None in Sweden. I showed you earthquakes here in Finland and Russia today. Yet they're not showing anything here. Why not? Inquiring minds want to know. Why are they not showing us what is going on? Why? Why? Why are they not? We want to know. They're not showing us any earthquakes here in Greece. Northern Greece, southern Greece. They're not showing us anything. They're not showing us any earthquakes here in the Mediterranean here. There are. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Crete. There are. They're not showing any earthquakes here in the Dupage Islands. These islands off the west coast of Turkey belong to Greece. The Dupage Islands. Over here in western Turkey, we have over 40 earthquakes here in western Turkey. Are they showing any of those? No, they're not. They're not showing any earthquakes here in northern Turkey. They're not showing any earthquakes here in southern Turkey. They're not showing any earthquakes here along the Turkey-Syrian border, where there are over 50 earthquakes here. 50 aftershocks from an earthquake that happened here a year and a half ago. A 9.0, 10.0 earthquake. Killing 5,000 people and injuring over 5,000 more. We've talked about this in the past. USGS is not reporting any of those here. None. Why not? We want to know about it. We want to know about it. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Iran and Iraq. There are earthquakes here. They're showing us one earthquake here. This is Tajikistan. Tajikistan. This is a 4.2 moderate earthquake here. There are at least 3 or 4 other earthquakes right here. Tajikistan, Afghanistan, and Uzbekistan right here. They're not showing any of those. Here, USBS is only telling us about one earthquake here in western Zhejiang, China. This is a 4.6 earthquake here in China. They're not showing us any earthquakes here in the Himalaya Mountains. Guess what? There are earthquakes here. There are earthquakes here. Now, I want to go over here, okay? Just south of China here. Earthquakes right here. This is a country called Myanmar. It used to be called Burma. There are earthquakes here. We have Cambodia. We have Thailand. We have Vietnam. We have earthquakes up and down this fault line. This fault line comes from Indonesia. This fault line here comes from Indonesia. Okay? USGS has only shown us one earthquake off the southern shores of Sumatra, Indonesia. This is a 4.8 earthquake. There are more earthquakes here. They're hardly showing any earthquakes here in Indonesia. There are. They're showing us one earthquake here, a 4.5. This is in Wangpu, Indonesia. Wangpu, Indonesia, southern Indonesia. And this earthquake here is a 4.1 moderate quake. They're showing us this earthquake here. This is a 4.5 in Tobelo, Indonesia. A moderate 4.5 in Tobelo, Indonesia. Guess what? This is 170 kilometers deep. Still a fairly shallow earthquake. These earthquakes here are 10 kilometers deep, 6.2 miles deep. Over here, this is south of Mindanao, Philippines. South of Mindanao, Philippines. Guess what? They're showing us one earthquake here. This is a 4.4 earthquake south of Mindanao, Philippines, near Sarangani, Philippines. This is 56 kilometers east-southeast of Sarangani, Philippines. However, there's more earthquakes here. Why are they not showing them? Inquiring minds want to know. Well, guess what? There was an earthquake right here, where you see my cursor. This was a large earthquake right here. There was also a moderate 4.2 earthquake here, an aftershock of that 5.0. Why did these earthquakes hit right here? Right here, off the northeastern shore of Mindanao, Philippines here. Why are they not showing them? Inquiring minds want to know. It was a large earthquake here. There was a large earthquake right here. A 5.0 large earthquake and a 4.2 magnitude earthquake here. There's also a 4.2 magnitude earthquake right here on Mindanao, Philippines. The Philippine people felt that quake. It was not damaging, but they felt that quake. This earthquake here, a large earthquake, was not felt over here on shore because the waters off the coast of the Philippines absorbed the shock waves of this quake. This is an aftershock of an 8.4 earthquake that hit here 6 months ago. 6 months ago, a major 8.4 earthquake right here. USGS still not telling us what's going on. They're not telling us what's happening. NCWQ says she has to leave here to put her grandbaby to bed. Rebecca, thank you for your service to this channel. Thank you for being my friend and confidant. I appreciate you here. Now, I'm going over here to Japan. They're still not showing any earthquakes here in Japan. That's a fallacy. Earthquakes here in southern Japan, earthquakes here, Honshu, Japan, earthquakes up here to the north as well. Over here north of Hokkaido, this is the northernmost island of Japan. North of Hokkaido here, we have another 4.1 moderate quake here. This is in the Kuril Islands. These Kuril Islands here belong to Russia. We have earthquakes here all the time. Also, I forgot to mention, let's go back to Indonesia here. Let's go back to central Indonesia here. There are 5 to 6 volcanoes all over Indonesia. 5 to 6 volcanoes. One of them was over here in Sumatra, right here. The volcano is still erupting. Merapi volcano here in Sumatra is still erupting. It's been erupting almost continuously for 6 to 8 months. It's erupting. Right here, near Halmahera, actually right here, near Halmahera, Indonesia. Dukono volcano. Mount Ibu and Dukono volcano are still erupting. Dukono volcano erupted today up to 8,000 feet high. Dukono volcano has been erupting every day for several years now. Usually the eruptions are 7,000 feet high. Today it was 8,000 feet high. Ibu volcano in the same area has also been erupting. Does USGS care? No, they're not, because they hide the earthquakes. Whenever we have a volcano eruption, folks, guess what? It causes a 5.0 magnitude earthquake every time. An earthquake here just came up. Red. That means it just happened. This is a 4.3 earthquake right here where you see my cursor. I turned that earthquake blue. A 4.3 earthquake here in south central Indonesia. Okay? They're not showing us any earthquakes here in Papua, Indonesia. There is an earthquake right here in Papua, Indonesia, a 4.5 earthquake. They're not showing it to us. Why not? Why not? Let's go over here to the South Pacific. I meant to show you this earlier. This is in Lata, Solomon Islands. This is another moderate 4.5 earthquake. 4.5 earthquake here in the Solomon Islands. Also 10 kilometers deep, 6.2 miles deep. We go over here to Fiji. This is a 4.2 earthquake, 222 miles east of Lubuka, Fiji. This is 559 kilometers deep. This is a deep earthquake. This is a 4.2. Because this earthquake is so deep, it's going to generate or propagate, what I like to call it, propagating a large earthquake. It's going to propagate a larger, more shallow earthquake. This earthquake, this 4.2, is going to propagate or give us a larger 5.0 earthquake sometime within the next 3 to 10 days. A 5.0 to 5.1 earthquake within the next 3 to 10 days. That earthquake could go north here into Fiji. It could go west over here into Vanuatu, the Solomon Islands, or over here into Papua New Guinea. It could also go over here into Tonga. Or it could go south. South down here into New Zealand. Sometimes it does. USGS is still not showing all the earthquakes here. Here in New Zealand, both the North and the South Island, there are 28 earthquakes. 28 earthquakes here between the North and the South Island of New Zealand. Further up here, this is also in the southern Fiji Islands. This is a 4.4 earthquake. Also 520 kilometers deep. This is also going to propagate or generate another 5.2, 5.3 earthquake within the next 3 to 10 days. It could go west, it could go east, all the way over to Chile. What USGS is also not showing us is an earthquake right here that hit here earlier today. This is a 4.1 earthquake, 10 kilometers deep here. A 4.1 moderate earthquake that they are not showing on the map. Why not? Aries Bloodstone says she's going to leave now. Thank you, Ron, for your time. Blessed be everyone. Aries, before you leave, please subscribe to our channel. We greatly appreciate it. That will also help you. We appreciate you here. We appreciate you here very much. They're showing one earthquake over here in Tarapaca, Chile. It's in the border region of Tarapaca, Chile, and Bolivia. This is a 4.5 earthquake here. USGS is not showing any other earthquakes here in South America. Why? Why not? There are 36 earthquakes here in South America. Most of these earthquakes are between Peru and down here into central Chile. We do have earthquakes here in Peru. We have earthquakes here in Colombia, and one earthquake here in Venezuela. A total of 38 earthquakes here in South America. We have 15 earthquakes here in Central America. We have 34 earthquakes here in southern Mexico. Why are they not showing them? Why are they not showing them? Inquiring minds want to know. In Southern California itself, there are over 600 earthquakes that they're not talking about. Why not? Why not? We want to know. Those earthquakes here in southern Mexico will go up into California. Earthquakes right here will move up to California. Why? Because that seismic energy will travel north up this fault line. Guess what? This is the San Andreas Fault. Earthquakes from down here in Mexico will travel up the San Andreas Fault through northern Mexico up here into southern California. Fact. We've seen it in the past, and it'll happen again. Over here in Texas, this just happened within the last 20, 30 minutes. Balmoral, Texas. This is a 1.5 tremor. We have seismic energy hitting here. These are a swarm of quakes over here in southwestern Texas. Toya, Texas. Toya, Texas. Look at this earthquake here. This is in Toya here, right here. This is a 2.3 minor earthquake. Well, guess what? There's even more here. Mentone, Texas. This is also a 2.0 earthquake. This is a 2.0 earthquake just south of Mentone. Over here, we have another 2.0 earthquake in Van Horn, Texas. Actually, it's not in Van Horn. It's 66 kilometers northeast of Van Horn, Texas. We have a small swarm of quakes here in southwestern Texas. Why? What is going on here? For those of you that are new, I want to show you this. This is important. Look where these earthquakes are at. Look where this earthquake, for instance, these two quakes are at. Right next to oil and gas facilities. Each one of these rectangles or squares here are oil and gas pumping operations. Right here, this green area right here, this is contaminated water, treated water from sewage. This water is being injected into these wells here, the oil and gas wells, being injected into the oil and gas wells to pull gas and oil out of the ground here in Texas. We have a lot of earthquakes here as a result of fracking operations. Fracking operations here in southwestern Texas, all over southwestern Texas, literally. The same thing is happening in Oklahoma up here. We have earthquakes here in Oklahoma. We have one earthquake right there. Right here. This is a 1.4 quarry blast in Medicine Park, Oklahoma. Right here. This is a 1.5 tremor in Chester, Oklahoma. Oil and gas. This is a 2.0 earthquake in Ponca City, Oklahoma. 2.0 earthquake as a result of oil and gas fracking operations. This is a 1.2 earthquake here in Owasso, Oklahoma. Again, oil and gas. Now, you see we have other earthquakes here in California. We have an earthquake here I'm just going to briefly touch on. Folks, this is a 2.2 earthquake. Southeastern Idaho. Southeastern Idaho. Why? This is south of Pocatello in a town called Soda Springs. Soda Springs, Idaho. I was born in Pocatello. I lived there for 10, 11 years. I've been here in Soda Springs many times. A 2.2 earthquake here in Soda Springs, Idaho. This is the southern part of the Yellowstone magma chamber. The southern part of the Yellowstone magma chamber. Yellowstone is way up here, right? You're absolutely right. Yellowstone is here. The Yellowstone magma chamber reaches up here to the border of Canada and the United States. It comes over here to Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming, all the way down here into northern Utah. The Yellowstone magma chamber. The Yellowstone magma chamber is 11 Grand Canyons in size. That is why we're having earthquakes here. The Yellowstone magma chamber. That's a 1.1 in Howell, Utah. 1.1 tremor in Howell, Utah. South of Soda Springs here, St. Charles, Idaho. A 1.1 tremor here. Okay? Now, I'm not going to talk about all the earthquakes tonight. Over here in the Cascadia subduction zone, right here in the Cascadia subduction zone, folks, we have a 3.0 earthquake here. This is on the Gorda Ridge. Right here, you see the Gorda Escarpment here. The Gorda Escarpment runs west from Petrolia, California, 280 miles out here, out at sea. The Gorda Ridge is connected to the Gorda Escarpment here, and the Gorda Ridge here in the center had a 3.0 magnitude earthquake, a small earthquake. Nobody felt it. Nobody felt this earthquake. This is off the coast of Pistol River, Oregon. About 200 miles west of Pistol River, Oregon. The Cascadia subduction zone is this line, this red line that runs from up here at Queen Charlotte Island. The Cascadia subduction zone runs all the way down here to Northern California. It connects with the Gorda Escarpment and the San Andreas Fault right here. The Cascadia subduction zone. This fault right here is called the Juan de Fuca Fault. The Cascadia subduction zone right here between the Juan de Fuca and the subduction zone is where we believe that the Cascadia megathrust earthquake is going to occur sometime in the next 5 years. A magnitude 9.0, 10.0 earthquake right here. And it's going to be felt all the way down here into Southern California, northern Mexico, because it's going to trigger the San Andreas Fault here, and that San Andreas Fault is going to echo that energy all the way south. That's what's happening. John Francis is saying perhaps the USGS isn't reporting those earthquakes because most are small, below 3.0, and so. Some of them are. Some of them are. But the USGS is a preeminent seismic energy agency for the world. For the world. But the United States Geological Survey is not even reporting all the earthquakes here in the Cascade region, the Cascade Mountain region. They're not reporting all the earthquakes at the volcanoes. They're not reporting all the earthquakes here in Northern California. Mount Shasta and Mount Lassen are having earthquakes. Mount Lassen has had probably 10 3.0 earthquakes here today. Mount Lassen. Why are they not talking about it? 3.0, 3.9 are considered to be small earthquakes. But at a volcano, that is very substantial. Why are they not telling us about it? Why? They're not even telling us about all the 5.0s hitting here in the Atlantic Ocean right here. 4 5.0 earthquakes hit here today. They're showing us 2. They're showing us 2 earthquakes. Why are they not doing that? Why are they not doing it? Jay's saying do the drill points. I can show you drill points all over the place. Maybe I'll do that one day next week. Showing you drill points of the oil and gas, and also the drill points where man has drilled into the upper magma chambers of the volcano to obtain steam, to power turbines to generate electricity. There are 80 of those drill points just north of San Francisco. Yes, the poles are also shifting. But folks, don't get carried away by pole shift. Do not get carried away by pole shift. It's nothing like some people are being told. It's nothing like some people are being told. Ray Spur says, Gary, if you want to know about Yellowstone, go to Mary Greeley News. She follows it. is not anywhere near ready to erupt. It's not going to happen. Yellowstone is not going to erupt for a very long time. And if it does, if it even gets to be anywhere close to it, I will tell you about it. I promise you, I will tell you about it. But right now, there's no worry about Yellowstone. There's absolutely no worry about Yellowstone at all. It's not anywhere near ready to erupt. Okay? Don Patokas here in the chat saying Yellowstone is very well vented. Every one of those geysers in Yellowstone is venting energy. It is venting energy from the volcano. The heat from the volcano is heating up groundwater, causing the geysers to form. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. Does anybody have any questions for me as I have talked to you tonight? I tried to get as much information out as I possibly could, and now I've been here over 2 hours. I do not like going over 2 hours. Plus it gets later and later. Especially on a Friday night, I don't want to keep people out from going to grab something to eat or going out on date night. Okay? Jay's saying it's not you, it's the sun. Please don't use capital letters, Jay. I appreciate that. Yes, the sun is erupting. The sun does have an influence. We talked earlier tonight, we talked about this earlier this week, all this week, about coronal mass ejections, about solar flares, even dangerous X-class flares erupting from the sun. Those flares send out radiation that heats up the plates, that causes earthquakes here on this earth, and heats up the center of the earth. Fact. Fact. Yes, the poles are shifting, but please don't be so excited. It's not as bad as some people are painting it. Okay, it's not. Nobody is alive today that saw the pole shift thousands of years ago. Nobody's here today. Nobody knows what's going to happen. I don't give a flying rat's butt who is talking. Nobody knows what's going to happen when the pole just shifts. Okay? Earth is not going to turn upside down. The magnetic pole will just shift. Yes, it's going to cause some earthquakes. Fact. But nobody knows how severe yet it's going to happen. And it's not moving as fast as some people think it is. Okay? I've studied it. I have friends that are still studying, and they send me information all the time. Okay? I appreciate all of you here. Arnold Smith says, all good here, Ron. No questions for you right now. Have a safe evening. I would also ask you guys to do the same. Yes, the sun's been very busy. It has. Anyway, guys, when I was an emergency manager in San Diego, people asked me to talk to their churches, to their congregations, and the city groups, talking about Y2K. What was going to happen when the millennium happened, when the year 2000 happened? Well, guess what? Not much happened. Not much was different. But people came out of nowhere and painted bad pictures of what was going on. I talked to church groups and city groups all over San Diego County. I spoke to them. The Rock Church in San Diego, the Baptist Church in El Cajon, several LDS churches all over San Diego County. I spoke to them. I spoke to scientists. I spoke to computer people that also thought that computers would be frozen because the computers wouldn't know what to do. That was wrong as well. There were very few problems when Y2K happened. I'm here to tell you, I've been around the block. I am here for all of you. I have been here and I will always be here. I'm not going away. Folks, I have something to talk to you about before we get off the chat, before we call it a day here. I'm going over to Romans chapter 1, verse 16. Romans chapter 1, verse 16. This is one of my favorite scriptures. I shared this scripture many times with many people. I've shared it before here on this channel. I'm going to share it with you tonight. Romans 1:16 is my bylaw. It's my bylaw. It says, Romans 1:16, mark this in your own scriptures. Romans 1:16, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for it is the power of God unto salvation to everyone that believeth. He goes on to say to the Jew first and also to the Greek. But again, the gospel of Jesus Christ is on the earth today. The gospel of Jesus Christ is on the earth today. It is the power of God unto salvation for everyone that believeth. Everyone. Brothers and sisters, read your scriptures. Brothers and sisters, you can find God in your life. You can find Jesus Christ in your life. Read the scriptures. You can get personal revelation from God by reading the scriptures. You can get personal revelation from God by praying. You can ask God for information. You could ask God to bless you and your family's lives. And He will. I have a testimony of that. Read your scriptures. The scriptures go on to say, not in Romans, but in other places, they go on to say, read the scriptures, for in them you'll find eternal life, which gift is the greatest of all gifts of God. Read the scriptures, brothers and sisters. I promise you, your spirituality will change. You will become a servant of God. You will also want to share Christ's wonderful blessings that are in your life. You're also going to want to share them with other people. That's what's happened to me. That is exactly what's happened to me. I know Jesus Christ lives. He leads and guides us here today. He leads and guides us here today. I promise you that. I love our Savior. I love our Savior. God be with you this day and always. God be with you this day and always. I love you very much, brothers and sisters. I hope you have a good night and a better tomorrow. If anything else happens here tonight or before morning, we will be back here on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. That's how I've always done it. I've always come back here on the air to tell you about it if it's going to affect anybody. God be with you this day and always. God be with you until we meet again. Rob just shared a scripture, Philippians 4, verse 13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Absolutely true. Good night, everybody. I love you very much. We will see you on the other side. Have a good night. Take care. God bless.